Okay, so how is work with Nuxt going along?
Uh, Actually, it's getting like the Nuxt team and ecosystem is getting growing over the time. So it's really hard now to manage everything. Like every day we have to start working on Nuxt 3. We have to also take care about Nuxt 2, people asking questions. And it's getting crazy. So we are so lucky that we have such internal community and we have like internal team that are helping us every day. And without them, we couldn't really scale like this. I'm quite happy, but it's lots of work right now.
You still have to coordinate a lot of stuff, I imagine.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yes, I'm just getting started with Nuxt. Like a week ago, I started rewriting my site in Nuxt. It was before in Gatsby.
Okay.
But yeah, like a couple of months ago, I just was like, oh yeah, what is this Gatsby about? Everybody is raving about it. And I just did my site in it and it stayed like that. And everybody asked me, oh yeah, you're a lot into Vue. Why is your site in Nuxt or in Gradesome? And yeah. So how does you work full time on Nuxt? I don't remember.
Yes, it's around 1 year that when I came to Netherlands. So I had some like consultation clients, but yes, mainly we are working on nights, like every day and every night and even weekends. Because it's open source, like whenever
Yeah.
I'm out with friends, I have to like always keep an eye on next. And it's really nice. I really like the current situation. Like I can just focus on something I like.
Oh yeah, yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yes, I remember that they announced, or that they announced, or that I somehow heard in Vuex Amsterdam in February that you were working with passionate people in Amsterdam.
Yes, exactly. At that time, we also announced Nuct company. So like I
Yeah.
still like sometimes work with passionate people and like most of the time I'm working on open source stuff. It's really nice that like it's like I can focus on open source, but sometimes you have to really see that what are the real customers, like how people are going to use Nuxt. So it's really nice to have connection with companies like passionate people, so I can see what really clients and enterprises need, and we can just design up Nuxt for that requirements.
Yes, especially because it has various different like use cases. You have the site generator, you have the server side rendering. So there are various use cases you have to cover, right?
Exactly. So we have.
Apparently, this breakout session wasn't mentioned in the main stage. Okay.
Yes, multi-apps are going to be supported.
Okay. Tech Monito asks, I missed one part. Did you mention a multi-Nuxt app support during your talk?
Well, multi-apps are supported on the builder layer. So, for example, we can split the code by functionality. We can have multiple pages directories, and we can combine them. This is basically part of the builder.
Okay, great. I didn't understand all of that, but
Yes, exactly. Like multi-app has like two different stages. One part is about the builder to support the parts that we need to scan the directory structure and create like templates based on them. And the other part is about merging different configs. For example, we can have a team. We are now beta testing it for content team, if you have seen. So for example, for creating a documentation using Nuxt content, we can directly use the Nuxt team. But the limitation currently is that it's just extended config and the directory structures cannot be combined. For example, we cannot overwrite one page of the documentation with our own. And this feature in the Nuxt tree is going to fill that gap.
okay. Any more questions? This will simplify our project a bit. We implemented a homemade multi-app support.
I can guess. Like I always also created some things for like some big clients, so it was always missing part of Nuxt too. And we have the RFC for it for a long time open. And this RFC was not implemented in Nuxt because it required some big changes in the code structure of the builder. So we had to keep it pending until next week. But it's something really required, and personally, I'm going to use it. So I'm so happy that we are going toward that situation.
Cool. Yeah, Nuxt becomes really like a multi use case kind of framework.
Exactly.
So how long have you been working? Have you been with Nuxt since the beginning, or did you come? I just know that you are the head of framework, but how long have you been with the project?
Well, it's like a strange story. Like I know Nuxt since its beginning. So that time I was in the like DevOps industry. So we had a company and we just knew Vue.js, and it was really great framework. So I was started creating some of my like personal framework, and I saw Next.js, and Next.js was inspired by that. I was saying, hey, that's really cool, but I don't join them. So I stopped working on my personal framework and offered Sebastian and Alex that, and they was so humble to accept me. So almost from beginning, we joined and started working on Next. So it's from almost the beginning. And I'm so happy that I made that decision. Like I could continue working on my personal framework that time, but it was the best decision that I've made that time, that we joined our forces.
That's cool. That's cool. So for how long does Nuxt exist? Like since like 4 years?
Yes, almost 4 years.
Oh, it's come a long way since.
Yes, indeed. And like I don't know, use check Nuxt 0x, for example, it was like really, really smaller than current version. It was mainly used for like SSR and generating static apps. But during the time, we started to like extending its usabilities, and it's going to be harder and harder by time. For example, now we're supporting wide range of projects. Like you can create a static block with that, you can create a full SSR application with that, you can have a hybrid application with that. And with Nuxt, we are also going to even make it broader. For example, you can start with like a single app.vue file, and you can slowly increase it, and using multi-apps to have a like giant project. So it's like a truly versatile framework right now.
Cool. Yes, I love the project. Like I heard about it like for a while now, and I didn't get into it until just recently. Oh, there's another question. Any updates on how Nuxt 3 store will work, or is there dependent on Vuex core team's efforts?
Well, actually, we are collaborating with the Vue.js core team members, like for each of these features. We have live coding sessions to implement these parts, and storage is still remaining. But the good part is that for Nuxt tool, you had to always use Vuex. But for Nuxt 3, we are moving to a plugin structure. And with this plugin structure, we add the Vuex plugin, but it can be replaced with literally any other solution for keeping the state. And I think this is really good news that people have freedom to choose between how they can implement it. And even if we don't have any Vuex support, it can still be possible to use a plugin to support it.
Okay, cool. I hope, Elias, that your question was answered. Another question from Tech Monito. Currently, it's hard to have environment agnostic builds with Nuxt. Some environment variables, such as public paths, are hard-coded client-side. Is it something that's going to change?
Yes, exactly. With Nuxt.14, we introduced runtime config, which is going to change the classic env support, which basically is using the Webpack plugin to hard code the envs with runtime config. And we have to just support it in more areas, including all of the modules that can support this runtime config, and also for Webpack public path. It's a non-problem that like people wanted it for a long time. And I guess it can be also backported to the Nuxt too, because it's already supported for runtime config. We have to just integrate it with the Webpack.
Cool. So you mentioned, oh, okay, yeah. So you mentioned live coding sessions with the Vuex team. What tool do you use for those sessions? The VS Code?
Exactly. We always enjoy VS Code because it's like people are sitting around same computer and coding. And also for Nuxt development, like usually with Sebastian, we are using same VS Code when we are going to pair program on something. And also Daniel, he's here. So thumbs up for Daniel. He's also helping us a lot for Nuxt development right now. And it's really cool that visually you can sit with everyone and continue working on your code.
Yes, I used it once, the live, how is it called? Live share or something like that. It works super good in,
Yeah,
in
it's really
VS
good.
Code.
I really appreciate what VS Code team is working about. It's really changed the development experience since I migrated from my past IDE to VS Code. First, it was a little bit strange because it had less features, but now I'm so satisfied. I do everything in my VS Code.
Yes, I got to know VS Code like in 2018, where it wasn't all that developed. It didn't have that many extensions yet, but nowadays I think it's like the go-to IDE for web developers.
Yeah, exactly.
Or code editor.
And also, if you didn't use it, it has some extensions for GitHub integration that is also making life easier. For example, we can check out the pull request, which manually is sometimes hard, but the integration is so cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love GitLens.
Exactly. I'm also.
So you're in the line and you see like who wrote this line of code? Oh, it was me.
Exactly. So you're the kind of person to always blame someone.
Blame.
Blame by default. It's nice.
Okay, so are there any more questions from the people in the chat? There are only 7 people watching this.
Yeah, if after this QA, if anyone has questions, I think we have a Discord for front-end lab that people can ask questions from us, or Twitter pinging us.
Yeah, you can write your Twitter. Oh, there's another question.
So next thing will come.
So Nuxt 3 enabled, for example, a composition API based on custom built store solution to be used for global stage. I think yesterday a Vuex talk said that the composition API approach is still in the future, Vuex 5. Vuex 4, Vuex 4 coming soon to support, okay.
I try to understand the question, but I think generally without composition API to injecting Vuex instance to the context, exactly we can use Nuxt plugins to create an instance of Vuex and inject it to the context. But for using composition API, we can like do the lazy initialization as well. So just provide the options. So that's why it's not still implemented. But both methods can be possible, both using composition API or classic way of injecting it to the context.
Okay. Any more? I hope, Elias, that answered your question. Yes, perfect. So you can write your Twitter handle or your Twitter link in the chat so people can follow you in order to ask questions when they.
Sure.
I think it's like underscore. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Oh, underscore. Okay. Any more questions? If not, I will start asking fun questions like, did you pick up any new hobbies in the COVID-19 phase?
I'm an introvert, so for me it was not a big change. Like I was always at home. I was thinking, okay, what's changed in the world?
Yeah, so, same for me. I worked from home for like a year or a little bit more, and it's like, yeah, just you can't travel anymore, which is the biggest change. But so you live now in Amsterdam, right?
Actually, I'm living in a quiet place. It's close to Amsterdam. The city name is Haarlem. Okay. And I really like the place. It's like more Dutch people and more family place. I really enjoy living.
Okay, so how did you adapt to living in the Netherlands? You getting along well there?
Well, for me, it was a big change because I was living with my parents. It was like my first time I started living independently. But I think like Netherlands was really friendly place. Like I didn't feel so strange. Like everyone was friendly with me. I could do everything for myself. I had to buy furniture, for example. Like I had some guides from people, and yeah, it was a really good experience for first year.
Yeah, I know that Dutch people are really friendly folk. That I noticed already. So, are you learning Dutch, or do you know Dutch already?
Yes, first I was trying to learn Dutch, but there is a default language for them. Like whenever they feel that you speak English, they quickly switch. So you cannot continue talking with them, except some old ladies that they know I don't speak Dutch, but they continue speaking Dutch with me. I try to understand. But
Okay,
it's
yeah,
like
it's a
there
common
are
problem. Yeah,
everyone is fluent with English, so it's like fluently like
yeah.
I with that.
Yeah, it's the same where I live in Luxembourg. My wife learns Luxembourgish, and people immediately switch to English or another language to talk with her in the store. So you have to you have to create a pin that says like, please speak Dutch to me. I'm learning.
Yes, it's also hard that when you want to start learning something.
Yeah. Okay. So if there are not any more questions in the chat, let's wait a little bit more. I think we can close. Can you close the session? Because I think I'm just invited. I don't know if I can.
I think we can just leave from the session because I don't see it there.
Okay. Oh yeah, another fun question. What do you do with your conference stickers?
Conference stickers?
Yeah, like
I have a
the
big
sticker.
envelope. Yes, I have a big envelope full of that
Oh.
stickers, but I think that I never put any sticker on my laptop, even Nuxt. So I just collect it, and just sometimes in like subway people know me, so I sometimes have them in my backpack and just I give it to them. So it's usually like that. I collect them to give it to others.
Okay, that's a good way. Yeah, I have a hardcover case with stickers, and so I can take it off if I needed to, so the surface doesn't get scratched. Okay, so if there are not any more questions, I think we will close this session or leave the session. However,
Sure, and really nice to meet you. I will hope we can talk more.
Nice meeting you. I think we quickly met in February in Vuex Amsterdam, but just for like a minute or so.
Exactly. Like this session was more longer.
Yeah, there were so many people there. It's crazy to remember who did you talk to.
Exactly.
Okay, so nice meeting you again, and thank you for answering all the questions. And hope to get in contact with you soon again.
Okay, thank you, and thank you guys. Elias, thank you. Bye.
Bye.